Hey, Shalom. Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that's teach in that Ruel today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on a physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Once again, Shalom. So basically, as you can see, current news, okay, for the coming of this week, okay, the midweek ending of this week, okay, when it comes to this whole ordeal with U.S., and Iran, okay, striking each other, going to war with each other, okay, mainly over there in the Middle East, okay, what they would call the Middle East, which we know which is known as Minor Asia, okay, the whole conflict between U.S., Israel, okay, attacking Iran, and Iran retaliating over going on with a month and a half, okay, and ever since then, when it comes to the Straits of Hormuz, okay, been shut down, okay, when it comes to certain supplies and oil and transition over there in Iran territory, okay, they didn't allow America and Israel and NATO, okay, members of America, okay, when it comes to the allies, okay, when it comes to NATO and the EU, okay, they didn't allow them to, the transfer, goods, okay, leading to more of a economy blow to this place, America, okay, as more and more prices are going up, okay, inflation, okay, and more, even though they push the narrative here in the West, okay, here in America news media, saying that America is winning the war, okay, but alternative news saying that America is losing miserably, okay, when it comes to the U.S. embassies or U.S. bases over there in the Middle East, okay, being bombed by North Korea, not North Korea, Iran, okay, which North Korea and these other nations about to aid into this war, okay, when it comes to Iran, okay, right along with mainly Russia, North Korea, China, giving Iran aid, okay, certain other Arab nations, okay, ready to turn on this place, America, okay, a lot of those Arab nations that's alliance with America, okay, not want to do none of the bidding of America when it comes to this war, okay, and adding to it, okay, the European nations, NATO, don't want to support the war, okay, which they say the war was unconstitutionalized, okay, that it was that they say illegal, okay, but we know, it's an agenda, okay, but now you got this whole ceasefire with U.S. and Iran, okay, and this is more of a strategy tactics, okay, cause it ain't like they gonna stop fighting against each other, which we know is all biblical prophecy, and this is the will of Yahweh Shai Shai, okay, issuing the Third World War, okay, yeah, because now they talking about the ceasefire gonna only last for 2 weeks, okay, meaning that they ain't gonna stop, man, okay, they just strategize, they just planning for the next move, okay, but we all know, us that's in the faith and through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shai Shai, start when the men of Great Millstone and the true sincere brother on down, okay, we know that these elites, okay, have an agenda. When I say these elites going to Esau, Edom, okay, these central bankers, okay, and those that's in league with them when it comes to these heathen nations, got an agenda that they want to bring a NWO, okay, more and more to crash the world economy, especially this place America, when it comes to the dollar, okay, leading to that reset, okay, as we pushing forward towards more and more digital format, okay, when it comes to the digital currency, the RFID micro, okay, the MOTB, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, that's about to replace the physical dollar. Okay, that's why you're seeing things are happening now. Okay, as they got the saying, order out of chaos, because these elites want to bring their agenda, and those that's in league with them doing their bidding, especially over here in America. Okay, so this is just another strategy. Okay, pushing towards when it comes to these elites, talking about all of a sudden now a ceasefire. Okay, but the next thing they can plan, okay, which we know they set up a lot of false flags, double F. Okay, when it comes to they're saying possibly it can be a T attack here on the shores of America, okay, from Iran or any other, T group, okay, as they deem, terrorism, okay. You got the more and more hearing of cyber attacks, okay. Hey, more and more you hear about the people over here in America, the citizens here in America, rising up their own against their own government, okay, due to inflation, job losses, okay, poverty, okay, certain aids being cut, okay, leading to more and more civil unrest, okay. Hey, so when it comes to this whole ceasefire, man, we expect it, okay, not to die down, okay, us that's in the faith, okay. And also, I just got off of Google, okay, the ceasefire, okay, between U.S. and Iran. And it says a conditional 2-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran began around April the 8th, 2026, aiming at halting a 5-week conflict, okay, mediated by Pakistan. The truce requires Iran to reopen the strategy of the Strait of Hormuz, and pause the defense operation in exchange for a halt to U.S. strikes. Okay, like I say, going to the duration and the status, only for 2 weeks. Okay, they're gonna be right back at it. Okay, the conditions, the deal of the Higgins on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, because like I say, that strait being closed to America and its allies, mainly to NATO. Okay, and mainly Israel, America, Israel, and NATO. Okay, and the EU. Okay, is affecting the West, and when it comes to the dollar. Okay, which we know these other countries are ready to get rid of the dollar. Okay, when it comes to the likes of Russia, China, Iran, India, okay, South Africa, okay, North Korea, okay, other countries as well. Okay, we know about the BRICS nations, okay, the BRICS banking format that's being led by Russia, okay, that's going to, tempting them to, the more and more to bring the devaluing of the dollar, okay, that they're not going to deal with the dollar, but they moving towards a digital system, a digital format, okay, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, okay, when it comes to these elites agenda, okay, once again, when it comes to that RFID micro being implemented, okay, you see, so you're going into the, the ceasefire, man, okay, it ain't going to get worse from here on out, man, only 2 weeks, man, okay, but we know that, once again, these elites have an agenda, okay, especially when it comes to you Americans, okay, as they want to bring more and more of a squeeze on this American economy, okay, right along with the world, man, as they're trying to forge the NWO, okay. So let me go ahead and get into the scriptures, and I'm gonna start off with 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But the times and the seasons, brethren, ye had no need that I write unto you, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And that's going to us, appointed to us that has been called in the faith, us are the hopeful elect. Okay, when it comes to the elect on the 144,000 and 1/3 that's destined to be saved, that's so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American descent. Okay, because the Lord only going to deliver the nation of Israel. Okay, starting with the prophets. Okay, and the 1/3 of men, women, and children of Israel. Okay, because at this time, 2/3 of Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans going to be cut off and judged in the Lord's judgment, right along with these heathens. Start with the Edomites. That's not going to receive no salvation. And the rest of these heathens, okay, Yahweh Shemel Shah is only going to deliver the elect, okay, as known as Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, here in Americas, okay, ultimately here in America, Babylon the Great, and where also the elect is scattered worldwide, when who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai, returned at the peak of the Third World War. Because it is going to be a Third World War according to biblical prophecy. And at the peak of the Third World War, this place, America, going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles. Okay, and Yahweh Shai returning by the way of the hosts of angels, what the world called UFOs, which are the chariots or the vehicles of the angels, and the salvation or the way of the Lord delivering the elect from out of that great destruction from the missiles. Okay, but 2/3 of our people, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, and these heathens, okay, they're going to be judged mainly here in America. Okay, especially ones of our people that take that RFID micro. Because the ones of our people that take it, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, they're going to be destroyed by the way of the missiles, and the chariots bringing fire. Okay, but the elect is going to be delivered, okay, from not taking that RFID micro. Okay, because the Lord is going to be the covering of the elect. Okay, and be the deliverance of the elect. Okay, and that's the hopeful number that we're striving to be part of. Okay, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Why? Because we paying attention as we in this calling, and we're waking up, okay, to the prophecies, okay, all due to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're understanding the times that we. That's why we preparing ourselves. As it also says in Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, for wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times, okay, us are the elect, okay, the hopeful elect, starting with acknowledging the names of Yahweh Shemel Shai, okay, and the power of the Lord when it comes to his prophecies and the prophets, okay, that the Lord set up as we preparing ourselves for the times ahead. Once again, Jacob's trouble. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as a travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay, and that's what we're seeing now. Okay, mainly when it comes to these Edomites, okay, these elites down to the less luminary one, which we know these elites' agenda is to, once again, to bring order out of chaos. Okay, but part of their agenda is to come with the notion of peace, safety. Okay, but behind it, they really want to come with war, more tyranny, okay, more dictatorship, okay, and more of a technocracy. Okay, hey, so we ain't no time of peace, man. Even though they might get on their podium, get on their social media, okay, and speak of peace, ceasefires and all that, okay, but all of it is really in vain and deceiving us, man. Okay, madness. Yeah, but majority of our people, yeah, because I'm outside, yeah, but majority of our people, when it comes to you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, a lot of these people, they ain't know we in the time of war, man. Okay, a lot of our people, man, they just being distracted when it comes to the latest gossip, the latest news, the latest trend on social media. Okay, the latest fashion or music, okay, challenging on TikTok or YouTube, entertainment, okay, they in the, the spirit of mirth, partying, celebrating, okay, as we in the time of the coming of the spring, enter into the summer, okay, our people looking forward to more and more, just being entertained, man, and in the meantime, all hell about to break loose, man, okay, especially when it comes to you tribes, man, okay, when it comes to Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9, as Yahweh Shemel Shai is preparing Esau Edom to bring that sword against you tribes, man, okay, in the form of martial law, concentration camps, okay, ice agents, okay? The coming of more pestilence, famine, okay, to all you tribesmen, okay? Hey, the RFID micro being implemented. But our people not preparing themselves for that, especially those that know about the Israelites and seeing the prophets out there on the highways and byways, okay? But that's all right, because the Lord said that on the election going to attain it, and the rest of them, the 2/3, are going to be blinded unto judgment, okay? That's Romans 11:7, okay? Yeah, because now they think they're in the time of peace and safety here in America, or they're just comfortable, okay? When it comes to you Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and disregard the truth, man, okay? And even though these heathen nations going at each other, when it comes to this whole Third World War and the coming of who's going to be the next superpower, but all of them got one consent, okay, when it comes to you tribes, man, okay? The Lord set them up to be our enemies, man. Psalms, the 83rd chapter. But Negro, Latino, Native American, he can't figure that out when it comes to the 2/3, man. Even though they can see the dislike, the strong dislike, when it comes to these heathen nations, these other nations against us, a lot of people too busy murdering each other, going against each other, okay? And when it comes to these heathen nations, then those the ones they want to be in peace and harmony with. But when it comes to our people, they know to want to take each other out, okay? Do all type of wickedness against each other, okay? But accept these heathen nations, okay? You know, excuse me for the rant. Let me go ahead and get back into the scriptures that I already have. Let's get this. But us that's in the faith, us are the hopeful elect. Hey, we know this old ceasefire is nothing but like I said, another strategy, man. Okay, some bogus. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And it's going to Esau Edom. Okay, and these heathens. Okay, they got the agenda. Okay, they had Esau Edom. Okay, when it comes to the NWO. Okay, once again, they want to bring order out of chaos. Okay, but us are the elect, us are the hopeful elect. Okay, we know that. Okay, their agenda. Okay, according to the scriptures. Okay, so we're not ignorant of their devices. Okay, especially when it comes to them coming against us as a whole, man. Okay, especially starting with us of the hopeful elect, Israelites that know the truth and the exposure of Esau Edom. Okay, when it comes to this word being pushed by the way of the internet. Okay, as we're about to enter into the time of persecution. Okay, demonization, false accusing, slander. Okay, when it comes to the prophets, man. Okay, but we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Esau Edom agenda. As majority of our people, okay, don't have no clue. Okay, especially when it comes to the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah not guiding them. Okay, let's get this. Isaiah chapter 48, verse 22. There is no peace, say the Lord, unto the wicked. Okay, so Esau Edom is known as the wicked. Malachi 1 and 4, the border of wickedness. So ain't no peace coming to these Edomites, nor these heathens, nor 2/3 of these people at this time, man. Especially when we in the time of Yahweh Shemel Shah about to bring judgment. Okay, the only ones that's going to be delivered and be covered is the elect. Okay, but there's no peace definitely coming into there's no peace not definitely coming into the wicked. Okay, because they don't represent no peace, man. Okay, they always representing the sword, which is their blessing. War. Okay, catastrophes. Okay, turmoil. Okay, deceivingness. Okay, blasphemy. Okay, unrighteous decrees. Isaiah 10 and 1. Okay, when it comes to the NWO, man. Okay, as we're more and more pushing towards now, like I said, the technocracy, the AI. Okay, they want to bring transhumanism. Okay, hey, you see how they corrupting the earth? GMO food. Okay, the water is poison. The air. Okay, the morals of the people. Okay, the animals. okay, suffering, plant life, agriculture, the sea life, okay? Because they don't represent peace when it comes to Esau, Edom, and these heathens that's in league with them. And that's why when Yahweh shall return to take them out of power and liberate the nation of Israel, like I say, starting with the elect, that's where everything's going to go back into its rightful order, man. Okay? And ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shai bringing peace, man. Okay? To the elect. And ultimately to the earth. But not to these Esau, Edom, and these heathens. Okay? Especially Esau, Edom, like I say. Because their future, when Yahweh Shai return, the future of these heathens, okay, is captivity. Starting with the elites of Esau, Edom. And the heathen nation that remain after the great destruction, after America, man. Okay, their future is captivity. As they're going to be in their retreats. Okay? Just to be reserved for captivity, man. Okay? And that's when truly peace going to actually be here on the earth. Okay? When Yahweh Shema Shai established the kingdom of Israel. Let's get this on. Ecclesiasticus 12, or the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that it is his rust, that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Okay, so the scripture said, never trust thy enemy. When it comes to you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, as we're telling you that your enemies are these heathen nations, primarily, dominantly Esau, Edom. And history don't prove that. Okay, but here in 2026, our people still want to trust in this system. Okay, trust in the so-called white race, and still want to believe that the Lord is dealing with all nations, man. Okay, especially Esau, Edom, man. Still thinking that the Lord, who the world called Christ, is a so-called white man. God is a so-called white man through plantation Christianity. God love all nations. Okay, we got to accept all nations and all that. Okay, the Lord said never trust our enemy. Okay, look at his history and look what he got planned now. Okay, so there's more for the you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, but even these heathen nations, okay, that's coming against Esau, Edom, they ain't trusting Esau, Edom, because they see Esau, Edom as the enemy. Okay, even Esau, Edom amongst themselves divided. Okay, show you that we're at the time of their downfall, man. Okay, let me see. So like I say, this whole ceasefire is just another strategy or plan how they can move forward with the NWO, man. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And going to Esau, Edom. Okay? This whole ceasefire and all that. Okay, the whole thing is how they can strategize more and more to bring the NWO. Okay, mainly when it comes to that RFID micro being implemented worldwide, man. Okay? And they convert fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance. Esau Edom always been known for that, known for that. Okay, as they got the term colonization. Okay, or they pseudoscience. Okay, as they in power, pushing that they the supreme. Okay, but really they are the inferior. And really Yahweh Shema Shai set them up at this time to be an example of what not to be when it comes to rulership and when it comes to wickedness, man. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai gave them the sword, man. Okay, the rule here in the earth. That's why you see now they trying to conquer more and more other nations. Okay, that the whole point of them trying to take over Palestine. Okay, when it comes to those tiny hats, get more and more foothold in Iran. Okay, but they ain't working. Okay, America got their military bases spread thin. Okay, which now being destroyed over there in Minor Asia. Okay, and we know an example of that when it comes to this place, America, how the enslavement stole this land from the Negroes, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, start with the Northern Kingdom. Okay, the Native Americans, mainly the Hispanics and Latino tribes, and brought the Southern Kingdom over here, the rule. The enslave us so they can more and more rule, man. Okay. Once again, never trust thy enemy, man. But now they want to bring a total control by the way of digital format through technocracy when it comes to the AI, artificial intelligence, when it comes to that RFID micro being implemented, man. Okay, to bring more control and surveillance and more lead and have more to themselves, more resources of the people, okay, of the nations, man. Okay, but Yahweh Shemel Shai gonna disappoint them, man. Okay, as they think they're gonna. Matter of fact, let's go at Job, and I end with that. This get Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, so we're in Esau Edom moment. Okay, as we're at the end of their rulership, coming to the end of their rulership. Let's get this. I'm gonna jump down to verse 22. Job 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in strays. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay, and the wicked going to the working class in this case, when you're going to the Hebrew in the blue letter. Okay, but it's going to these other nations as well, ready to come against Esau Edom. Okay, even their own counterpart. Okay, once again, division. Okay, as more and more these elites are being exposed to. Okay, but Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to be the one that take them down once this place America be destroyed. Okay, by the way of the missiles, man. Okay, and the chariots bringing fire. And no tiny tops over there in our land that's false claiming, which that land gonna be cleansed by the way of missiles, just for us to rightfully own our land again. Okay, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in strays. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So just as they think they're gonna capitalize on the NWO, when they ultimately implement their RFID micro, that's when Yahweh Shemel Shai definitely gonna destroy them, man. Okay, and bring their kingdom down. Okay, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh by Shemel Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Okay, those missiles. Okay, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bowl of steel shall strike him through. Okay, they don't missiles. Okay, going to destroy their beloved America, their stronghold. Okay, and the tiny tops. Okay, those phonies over there. Okay, and when it comes to these elites, the elites of Esau Edom, that's going to be the end of their kingdom. Okay, which we know the elites of Esau Edom rule out of Europe. Okay, like I said. Okay, although they're going to escape the missiles. Okay, but they're going to indicate the downfall of their kingdom, because the Lord going to reserve them for captivity. Okay, when it comes to these central bankers and those that's in league with them when it comes to these heathen nations, man. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So it's a boundary that Esau Edom ain't going to be able to pass. Okay, especially when he implement that RFID micro. And that's going to be it for him. Okay, let's get this now and get ready to close. When the Heavenly Father sent his son back, Yahweh Shai, okay, by the host of the angels, okay, and the Lord raising up the elect of the nation of Israel with that power, man. Okay, Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that his hand cannot perform his enterprise, going to Esau Edom. Okay, he's going to be disappointed. And those that's in league with him, okay, when it comes to the whole NWO, Yahweh Shai going to disappoint him, okay, waging war against them, man. Okay, by the way of the host of the angels, once again. 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 1, go into that. Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. Revelation 12. Okay? Plenty of scriptures, man. Yahweh Shai has come back to bring war and fire. Okay, mainly to Esau Edom and these heathens, and at this time, 2/3 of our people. Okay, because like I say, the Lord only going to deliver the elect. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in daytime and group in the noonday as in the night. Okay, so they NWO as they trying to establish it. Okay, the Lord, having them scrambling. Okay, to the point they're looking more and more tacky as they're being exposed. And ultimately, this is going to go ahead and move full throttle. Okay, Revelation 12 and 12, because they know they have but a short time left. Okay, but the Lord got them set up to be deceived, man. Thinking they're going to forge the NWO, ultimately going to lead to their own downfall, man. And Yahushua reestablishing righteousness, man. Okay, Job chapter 12, verse 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceived are his. So the Lord got Esau Edom set up, man. Okay, to be being the deceived. Although Esau Edom deceiving with his miracles, with his technology, with his lies. Okay, but the Lord got them deceived on the left hand side, man. Okay, and they being exposed more and more. Okay, and the Lord just set them up to be an example. Okay, when it comes to the wickedness and what not to do. Okay, and majority of the world is deceived by them. But us are the hopeful elect, okay, the elect is not going to be deceived as we coming back in this reawakening and knowing the true power of Yahweh Shema Shai and his will. And his will is to take down Esau Edom and these heathens, okay, and establish the kingdom of Israel, which by default the kingdom of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. Okay? So that's the time we're coming into, man. The transition of power. Okay? And us being on top. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that lesson will edify until next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.